So a few Cleveland Brown stories. Nick Chubb is looking pretty healthy. The Browns and the NFL are about to open training camp, so really good sign if you're a Browns fan, Nick Chubb fan. That was a really crazy, gruesome injury he suffered. What was it, week 2, Monday Night Football against the Steelers? Nasty stuff. So he's looking good. He recently posted a video of him squatting, I believe, 550 pounds. I'm not a professional in the medical industry and especially the rehabilitation industry, so I don't know if that's like the smartest thing to do, to be squatting 550 pounds after like tearing his ACL and UCL, I believe. But hey, man, whatever works. I saw a few people commenting on that post saying maybe that's why he tore his knee. I believe also before that freak injury, he also suffered another one in college, I believe. Someone correct me in the comments below. But I'm pretty sure he suffered another knee injury prior to the one he got last year. But yeah, regardless, he's looking good. He's looking healthy, and I think that's great. I think that's great for the Browns, especially because Browns are a really fascinating franchise right now. They've really been really fascinating the past few years, especially since giving Deshaun Watson that fully guaranteed contract. Obviously pissed a lot of fans off. More importantly, pissed off a lot of other GMs and owners around the league. So some might say the Browns kind of got a taste of their own medicine last year, a bit of karma with how things played out, and they kind of got saved by the savior Joe Flacco. Interesting move to kind of let him walk, but at the same time it does make sense, because if they were to re-sign Joe Flacco, a lot of Browns fans and fans would be really on edge and anxious, especially if Deshaun Watson starts off slow this year, which again is a whole other can of worms. But if they did re-sign Joe Flacco, there would just be a lot of big divide in the locker room. It could be an ugly situation for the team as a whole, because half the team would want Flacco. I'm sure some guys would want Deshaun Watson. I don't know. It just would have been ugly, but it sucks that they couldn't keep him, but whatever. But back to Nick Chubb. I mean, he's been the heart and soul of the Browns since being drafted with Baker back in the day, man. Top 5 back easily, in my opinion. If any of y'all disagree on that, please let me know who you would have ranked above him. I really hope he still has a lot in the tank after coming back from that crazy injury. I really hope he does, because fun player to watch, man. Fun player to watch. Big playability, and just, like I said, the heart and soul of the Browns, man. And they need him, because back to Deshaun Watson, who the hell knows how he's going to play this year. For the most part of last year, he looked pretty bad. He did have a few games. Obviously, they beat the Ravens on the road in that one game. For the majority of last year, he looked pretty bad. And Joe Flacco, meanwhile, was on his couch, came in with that loaded Browns offense and tore it up, essentially. Browns have an excellent roster, man. They have a great tight end, Amari Cooper. You got Chubb. Added Jerry Jeudy. I don't know how that's going to work out. I know he's a great route runner, but coming from a Broncos fan, he has trouble with catching the ball. Character is kind of a question mark, but, you know, when you're the number 2 guy and Amari's always going deep, he's going to have a lot of room to make some plays, man. So if he's going to have success in the NFL, it's going to be with his team. So Browns fans, I'd be pretty optimistic, even though his career so far has kind of been pretty lackluster, but I'm sure he'll turn it around. And the Browns also made some interesting quarterback acquisitions in this offseason. So if things do go kind of haywire with Deshaun Watson again, which I kind of expect, it could always turn to Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston in this offense would be, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it would definitely be entertaining. I mean, that's one thing about Jameis Winston. He's always going to throw it up there no matter what the coverage is. No matter if the guy's triple teamed, double teamed, he's going to chuck it. So it definitely makes for entertaining ball. They also low-key signed Tyler Huntley. I think that dude has potential. He showed flashes a few years ago when Lamar Jackson was out. Kind of has a similar game to Lamar, and who knows, man? He could do something. And they still have DTR. He was kind of like the preseason king about a year ago. He really showed out and looked really, really good. So coming into his sophomore year, you never know. Point is, I think the Browns have a pretty good quarterback room. So if you're one of those skeptical Deshaun Watson people like myself, I think they'll be all right. Plus, Stefanski seems like a pretty competent head coach. I do trust him. And other Browns news, they recently re-signed Dustin Hopkins to a 3-year, $15.9 million extension. He went 33 for 36 last year with 91.7% conversion rate. Definitely a hell of a kicker. One of the best in the league. Definitely bailed the Browns out a lot last year, so this is a great move, and it's great that they're rewarding their good players. Again, I just think it's really important for NFL teams to really treat their good players well. It's good for the locker room, good for the aura, and just good for just creating a good environment. So yeah, man, let me know what y'all think about Nick Chubb coming back. Do you think he still has a lot of gas left in the tank? And how do you think the Browns are going to be this year with Deshaun Watson and this entire roster? It's a pretty good roster. That defense was pretty solid last year. The offense, if Nick Chubb can come back and look somewhat good, I really think this is it's a good roster, man. So it's going to be a pretty fascinating team opening the year, week 1 at home. Tom Brady on the call, his first ever Fox game. Big time stuff, man. I'm really excited for that game. And yeah, it's really hard to root against the Browns, so I hope they have a good year. How will Deshaun Watson be? I have no idea, man. But regardless, like I said, good QB room. Let me know how good you think they're going to be this year. And yeah, man, that's all I got for right now. Peace.
He's now got 70-plus yards on the ground.